My 29F husband, 31M, got a paternity test on our daughter, 5F, and it came back negative, but I never cheated. Now he thinks our relationship is a lie and wants to divorce. What do I do? My 29F husband, 31M, got a paternity test done for our daughter, 5F, and it came back saying he's not her biological father. But here's the thing. I never cheated. Now he thinks our entire relationship has been a lie and wants a divorce. I'm devastated. I've been crying all day, and I still don't understand how this happened. I have never been unfaithful. I love my husband deeply. We've been together since college. He's the love of my life. Kind, handsome, and a great father. Before we got together, I had been with 2 other people, but never after we became a couple. When we conceived our daughter, we were married and actively trying to start a family. I was faithful, committed, and completely focused on us. There is no other possible biological father. I honestly don't know why he even took the test. He never mentioned it. But when it came back negative, he confronted me. He said it was because our daughter has brown eyes, while both of us have blue. Then he told me to leave the house. I refused. He locked me out of our bedroom, so I've been sleeping in our daughter's room. Over the past few months, he's been changing. He became suspicious, constantly asked to see my phone without explaining why. At first I showed him, but eventually I stopped because I didn't understand what he was looking for. He started becoming distant, not just with me, but with our daughter too. He spends hours locked in his office, and I don't know what he's doing in there. I didn't do anything wrong. I told him again that I never strayed. I even started making a list of different types of tests we could do to prove it, like genetic testing for all of us, or looking into rare genetic conditions that could explain the results. He listened a little, but said he didn't want to hear it right then. Still, he said he wouldn't keep me out of the house anymore, and that he still loves our daughter. I asked him to hug me, and he did, but I'm terrified I won't be able to convince him. I just want our family to go back to the way it was. I want to prove my innocence and be a good wife. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to support him and keep our family whole. Update. First, thank you to everyone who reached out. Your support meant everything. I took your advice seriously and made a list of next steps. My husband stayed guarded for a while, but eventually he apologized for how he handled things. I didn't expect an apology, just the chance to show the truth. He told me that if every test showed I had been unfaithful, he was going to go scorched earth. So we did multiple tests, blood testing for all 3 of us, and we even booked an appointment with a specialist to test for chimerism, a rare genetic condition where someone can have 2 sets of DNA. But that appointment was canceled, because some of you guessed it. The tests revealed that our daughter is not biologically related to either of us. A police officer has since come to our home to take our statements. We're now suing the hospital where I gave birth. Somehow, unimaginably, our baby was switched. We don't know where our biological daughter is. It's terrifying. I do have my husband back, but my world is still completely upside down. I've been sleeping in our daughter's room. I'm afraid that she could be taken away from me. I also can't stop thinking about my biological daughter. Where is she? Is she safe? Right now, our daughter doesn't know anything. We're trying to keep it quiet. The last thing we want is for this to become public. She's just a little girl, bright, sweet, and full of life. She deserves to be protected. We haven't told her anything yet because if she repeats it at school, word could spread quickly, and we don't want her to be treated differently. If we find her birth family, I have no idea what will happen. Part of me dreams of a perfect scenario where we all live nearby, or even together in a bigger home. But I know that's probably unrealistic. We might not even be able to find them. And yes, I've been searching for support groups for families dealing with switched-at-birth situations. But almost everything that comes up is either tabloids or fictional stories. This situation is so rare and so surreal. How do we eventually tell our daughter? She deserves the truth, but also the right timing. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I know I will fight to protect my daughter and find the one I never got to raise. And no matter what DNA says, I am her mother. Hi everyone. So, apparently a YouTuber my husband follows, Mark Narrations, decided it would be a good idea to read my original post on his channel. My husband recognized the story. Of course he did. It's not exactly a common situation. And he ended up going to my account page. There, he saw quite a few comments about him. Some of which were, let's just say, less than kind. Now, he's asked if he could share his side of the story here, using this account. Please, be respectful. He's not a villain.
My husband's message. I don't know how many of you have ever fallen into a spiral of self-doubt, but it's not the most rational place to be. And it only gets worse when you've got a huge chunk of the internet telling you that your spouse is being unfaithful, that she's going to take everything in the divorce, that she never really loved you, and that you are never good enough for her to begin with. Then you get not one but two paternity tests that say your daughter isn't yours. When the pandemic hit, I struggled. I gained weight. I got depressed. I stopped feeling like myself. Meanwhile, my wife stayed beautiful. She stayed herself. I started feeling like she'd made a mistake by choosing me, and that she'd eventually regret it. I ended up joining some online groups, especially on Reddit, where a lot of men shared stories about being cheated on, losing custody, losing their homes their entire lives, unraveling. I came across one post where someone mentioned he and his wife both had blue eyes, and their child had brown, and that it turned out she had cheated. That struck a chord with me. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but I made a post expressing my concerns, and the comments, they were all telling me she was unfaithful. They told me not to confront her, because she'd just use it to get ahead in a divorce. So I got a paternity test. I honestly didn't think it would come back negative, but it did. I was shocked, confused, and heartbroken. I didn't want to believe it, but I pulled back. I felt deeply betrayed. I wanted to believe her, but my trust was shattered. I looked for any kind of proof of an affair. I found nothing. I got another test. That one came back negative too. That's when I completely lost my composure. If you've ever felt betrayed, you know what that kind of pain can do to you. When my wife denied everything, I couldn't handle it. I asked her to leave. I didn't want to risk losing custody. I didn't want to lose my house. I didn't want to be tricked. I was scared. I was furious. And I just wanted the truth. After a few hours, premaricalamedone, when she returned with a list of possible medical explanations and genetic tests we could do, I tried to stay calm. I wanted to trust her again. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. In the end, I was wrong about the cheating. But so was everyone who had been telling me she was lying. The truth is, our daughter isn't biologically related to either of us. She was switched at birth. It took me a long time to consider that possibility. What I've been through has been emotionally overwhelming. But, do you think being scared and confused, getting angry one time, because I thought my wife was being dishonest, makes me a bad person?
Hi, it's me again. I just want to say a few things. I completely agree. My husband is not a monster, or an abuser, or anything of the sort. I absolutely do not agree that he's out of shape or unattractive. I've loved this man for years, and I still do. This situation has been incredibly hard, but we are not going to let it destroy our marriage. Thank you to everyone who supported us, shared kind words, or just listened. It means more than we can say.